You weren't born weak, you weren't born anxious, reactive or fragile. Your mind is simply wired that way, by life, by trauma, by habits. But here's the truth that most people never realise. You can rewire it, not with hustle quotes or screaming affirmations in the mirror, but with something ancient, proven and unshakable. Stoic philosophy is the operating system so many are unaware of, but desperately need. Today we'll break down some of their key principles and how to implement them into your own life. And by the end of this video, you'll have the exact blueprint to rewire your brain for resilience and take back control of your life. If you feel life keeps knocking you down, that for every step forwards you take 2 steps backwards, if you feel your mind spirals under pressure, always overthinking and overreacting, this video will give you the tools to actually change that. Because resilience isn't just some genetic trait or lucky break, it's a skill, and like all skills, it can be built. In this video, we're going to explore how philosophy, specifically Stoic philosophy, can literally reshape your brain and your response to stress, setbacks and suffering. You'll walk away with a new perspective on hardship, a method to train your mindset, and a timeless framework to help remain calm when surrounded by chaos. So let's break down exactly how this works through 3 big ideas. Number 1, how your thoughts shape reality and how Stoics flip the script. Number 2, how to practice mental strength reps daily without needing a gym. Number 3, and the ultimate Stoic secret, turning pain into power. Stick with me, this isn't just philosophy, this is a mindset upgrade. Imagine this, 2 people get fired on the same day. One spirals, loses confidence, gets bitter. The other uses it as fuel, learns, reinvents, comes back stronger. Same event, different outcome. Why? Because the first one thought this is the end. The second thought maybe this is a new beginning. The Stoics understand something modern science is only just catching up to. Our thoughts don't just reflect reality, they shape it. Epictetus said it best. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Now, it might sound simple, but it's revolutionary, because once you understand that your brain interprets stress, pain, and difficulty based on your perception, not just the event itself, then you suddenly realize that you have more control than you think. Modern neuroscience actually backs this up too. The way you repeatedly think, your interpretations, your inner dialogue actually rewires the neural pathways in your brain. If you always view stress as a threat, that's how your mind learns to respond. But if you begin to see it as a challenge or opportunities for growth, that pathway becomes stronger. So resilience isn't built by avoiding difficulty, it's built by reframing it. The first Stoic lesson, your suffering isn't from the situation, it's from the story you're telling yourself about the situation. Change the story, change everything. You don't become mentally tough by reading quotes or watching motivational reels. Just like you don't build physical strength by thinking about push-ups. Resilience is built through daily practices, intentionally. Seneca wrote, "A man who has anticipated the outcome of troubles takes away their power when they arrive." This is what the Stoics did. They rehearsed adversity, not because they were pessimists, but because they were preparing their minds for life. Think of it like mental weightlifting. Taking a cold shower, it's not just uncomfortable, it's a lesson in endurance. Waking up early when you don't want to, that's a rep in discipline. Journaling about your fears, calmly and clearly, well, that's self-awareness under pressure. These small acts, what the Stoics called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, are like exposure therapy for the soul. When real stress hits, you don't break. And over time, your brain does adapt. It learns that you can survive discomfort, that panic isn't productive, that you can stay calm, composed, and collected no matter what life throws at you. And that's what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Actually think about that. You can revoke your distress. You can train your peace. Let's be honest, pain is a part of life. You will face rejection, setbacks, criticism, and loss. There is no version of life where these things don't happen. But what if those painful moments weren't dead ends? What if they were raw material? Marcus Aurelius, in the middle of wars, plagues, and political chaos, wrote something that feels almost superhuman. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let that sink in. He's not just saying push through, he's saying obstacles are fuel. Setbacks create the path. Pain used correctly becomes power. Now, here's the wild part. Modern psychology actually agrees. There's a term called post-traumatic growth. So it refers to people who, after a deeply painful event, emerge more grounded, more compassionate, and more resilient than they were before. It's not guaranteed, it's not automatic, but it's possible. The Stoics knew this long before psychology even gave it a name. They didn't just ask, how do I survive this? They asked, how can can I use this? They suffer, but they grow stronger. Not because the pain felt good, but because they chose what to do with it. You've been through hard things, you've taken hits, but you're still here. And whether you realize it or not, those moments shapes you. The Stoic strategy isn't about avoiding pain, it's about transforming it. Check out this story. So there was a CEO, hardworking, successful, top of his industry. Then the economy tanked overnight. He lost most of what he'd built. Investors pulled out, the media dragged his name, even friends turned cold. But most people in his position would have cracked. He didn't. Instead, he took a page from Epictetus, the enslaved philosopher, who said, "Seek not for events to happen as you wish, but wish for events to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly." This CEO did exactly that. He accepted what had happened, not passively, but bravely. He started journaling every morning about what he could control. He cut the noise, rebuilt slowly, got wiser, more focused. Fast forward 5 years and he had built something better, thanks to the lessons pain had taught him. That is Stoic resilience in action. Not denying the pain, not pretending everything is fine, but facing it fully and still choosing strength. Look, everyone wants to be resilient, but not everyone is willing to go through what resilience requires. Resilience doesn't grow in ease. It grows in effort, in stillness, in the decision to respond instead of react. You'll know you're on the right track when you stop spiraling after bad news, you pause before reacting emotionally, and you start asking, what can I learn from this? Instead of why is this happening to me? That's growth, that's rewiring, and that's the Stoic path. But here's what most people forget. You're not doing this just for yourself. You're doing this so when life tests you, when your business hits a rough patch, when your family needs a calm leader, when your world feels like it's falling apart, you show up stronger, clearer, calmer. You become the rock in the storm, not because you were born that way, no one is, but because you trained for it, because you chose philosophy, not as something to know, but as something to live by. Here's the real goal. It's not to just get through life's challenges, it's to become someone who can thrive in them, someone who doesn't panic under uncertainty, who doesn't crumble when plans fall apart, who doesn't get hijacked by fear or ruled by emotion, someone with a mind they can trust. That's what Stoicism trains you to build. And in a world full of noise, volatility, and endless distractions, that kind of mindset is rare. You're not going to rewire your brain in one day, but each moment you pause instead of react, each morning you reflect instead of scroll, each challenge you meet with courage instead of collapse, that's a thread in the wiring process, and eventually, even without realizing, it becomes your default. Calm becomes natural, discipline becomes effortless, resilience becomes who you are, not just something that you are trying to practice. The Stoics weren't trying to live easy lives, they were trying to live excellent ones. They knew life would hurt, they just didn't want it to break them. So ask yourself, who are you becoming in the face of adversity? Are you growing bitter or growing better? Because every hardship is shaping you. Every challenge is asking you one question. What kind of person are you going to be now? And you get that answer not with words, but with actions, with mindset, with character. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a person perfected without trials." So maybe the friction you're feeling right now, maybe it's not a sign that something's wrong, but instead exactly the pressure that turns coal into diamonds. If you're tired of being at the mercy of your emotions, then I want to invite you to keep going deeper, not just with me, but with this philosophy. Stoicism isn't a trend, it's a toolkit for the rest of your life. And as you begin to apply it day by day, thought by thought, you realize something powerful. You've had the resilience this whole time. All you needed was the framework to unlock it. If you got value from this video, there's a good chance you'll also enjoy the one currently on screen, and maybe even subscribe. I upload weekly and really enjoy connecting with you guys. Until then, take it easy and remember, everything you need is within you. I'll catch you on the next one.